if you rely on Google for, well, for any organic traffic, the platform just never stays static.
Never.
It feels like it's not just evolving anymore. It's more like a seismic shift, right? And the ground underneath SEO professionals is constantly moving.
That's a good way to put it. Seismic is right.
So this deep dive is really about understanding that new reality. We're going to explore how Google's latest search engine results page, the SERP, is fundamentally changing how we even think about visibility.
Yeah, how it's earned, how it's measured.
Exactly. We're talking about everything from, those AI overviews popping up everywhere to the much more subtle but relentless changes in ranking behavior.
Right. And our mission today really is pretty straightforward. We want to give you, the listener, the clarity you need to navigate this really complex shift.
He says it is complex.
It is. The fundamental goal of search has evolved. I mean, think about it. Google isn't just delivering a list of results for you to pick from anymore.
Not like the old days.
No. It's aiming to deliver the answer instantly, right there on the page. And if you depend on organic traffic for your business, understanding this pivot it's mandatory. It's not optional.
Okay, let's unpack that then. Because if you compare a SERP from today with one from, say, 5 years ago, they look completely different. Functionally different.
Totally different.
That traditional bedrock of SEO, those classic 10 blue links, they're not just less important. Sometimes they feel almost completely buried, pushed way down the screen.
Absolutely right. They've been decentralized, really. And the features replacing them, they're all designed for immediate answers, immediate gratification.
Like what specifically?
Well, think about it. We're seeing this kind of explosive cocktail of featured snippets, rich results, video carousels that seem to expand, local packs. And of course, the big one now, those ever-present AI summaries that just dominate the viewport, often right at the top before you even scroll.
So what's the main consequence of Google delivering answers like that instantly?
Well, it creates what many are calling zero-click results. And it's arguably the biggest single challenge facing content producers today.
Zero click, meaning people don't click through.
Exactly. Google has become so effective at solving the user's need, right there on the SERP, that for a huge percentage of queries, that page is the final destination.
Right, like checking the weather or quick definition.
Or a currency conversion or a stock price.
Yeah.
You get the answer instantly. You never have to click through to an actual website. And that means visibility, seeing your name there, is no longer the same thing as getting traffic.
Which is a huge shift. And if the front end, what the user sees, looks chaotic, I imagine the back end, the algorithms, are even more complex.
Well, absolutely. Our source material really highlights this. The algorithms governing those results have become hyper-contextual. They're interpreting search intent, semantic relationships, the user's history, location, device, all in real time.
Which leads to massive personalization, right?
Precisely. Which means that stable, universally viewable position you thought you were optimizing for, it kind of doesn't exist anymore. Not really.
So you and I could search for the exact same thing.
Like best coffee maker reviews.
Yeah, and we'd get different results.
Very possibly. Based on our location, our device, maybe even our past search or purchase history, that idea of a fixed, universal rank position, it's dissolving rapidly.
But hang on, doesn't that make the whole optimization process feel a bit like we're just shooting in the dark sometimes? If you can't really know for sure what your target user is seeing, how do you optimize effectively?
That is the central question, isn't it?
Okay.
And it brings us directly to the challenge of monitoring, of tracking progress.
Right, because in the good old days, it felt simpler.
It was simpler. Tracking rankings was pretty straightforward. You'd check your position in a relatively fixed list, monitor your competitor's position, tweak your content, done.
But now?
Now, to that simple process it's kind of broken because that stability is gone, shattered mainly by 3 big factors.
Okay, what are they?
First, the personalization we just talked about. There's often no single rank to track universally.
Makes sense.
Second, AI integration. This has made SERPs incredibly dynamic, generative even. They're shifting constantly. Google's always testing layouts, testing AI model outputs.
Okay, so personalization, AI integration. What's the third?
And third, and this is a major pain point for the whole industry, data access limits, Google keeps implementing tighter data policies.
Meaning
They restrict what third-party SEO tools can actually retrieve about the full set of results on the page. It's harder for tools to scrape and report accurately.
so it forces you back into Google's ecosystem.
To some extent, yes. It forces businesses to rely more heavily on the data Google chooses to provide through Search Console, which, Google entirely controls. It adds another layer of dependence.
So putting that all together, the old metric of just looking at your ranking, say position 3, is basically becoming obsolete. Is that the aha moment here?
I think it is. That's the crucial realization for anyone listening. Securing a top rank, maybe even position 1, might feel like a win, but it guarantees absolutely nothing in terms of actual clicks or traffic.
Right. If something else is dominating the screen.
Exactly. The mechanism we really need to focus on now is SERP real estate. How much visual space do you command? A position #1 link used to be the holy grail.
Yeah.
Now, if Google decides to slap a huge calculator widget, a prominent video carousel, and maybe an expansive AI summary right above it, well, your #1 organic link is effectively pushed down into what used to be maybe position 8, visually speaking.
So you have the high rank technically.
But almost zero actual visibility, zero real estate on that crucial first screen.
Okay. So if chasing a single rank position is, let's say, a diminishing strategy, what is the new focus? How do we measure success when the scorecard itself keeps changing?
Yeah, that's the key question. The focus is shifting quite decisively toward measuring holistic visibility and, importantly, engagement.
Holistic visibility, meaning more than just rank.
Much more. And the implications for your content strategy are huge, mainly because the reward system, what Google values, has fundamentally changed.
We've established that zero-click results mean fewer visitors might reach your site directly from a search. But what about the content itself? What are the key shifts Google is demanding there?
Well, it really all boils down to EEAT. Experience, expertise, authority, and helpfulness. So it used to be trustworthiness.
Right, EEAT. We hear that a lot now.
And for good reason.
Right.
Google is aggressively rewarding sites that demonstrate this core quality. It's no longer enough to just, aggregate information from other places and sprinkle in the right keywords.
So what is enough?
Your content has to prove genuine value, demonstrate trust, and be truly useful to the user. It needs that depth.
Let's zoom in on that first ET experience. That's the newest edition, right? And I think maybe the most challenging for some.
It can be, yeah.
If I'm not selling, say, a physical product I can take pictures of, how do I prove genuine experience on a topic like personal finance or maybe software development?
You prove it through evidence. Concrete evidence. Google doesn't just want summarized research anymore. It seems they increasingly want primary, first-hand knowledge.
So show, don't just tell.
Exactly. For content creators, this means providing maybe photos of you actually doing the thing, original data sets you compiled, screenshots of the software being used with annotations, or maybe even transcripts of primary interviews you conducted.
Ah, okay.
The algorithm, sophisticated as it is looking for signals that basically say the person who wrote this actually did the thing they're talking about, or at least has deep, demonstrable familiarity.
That makes sense. It's a way to differentiate from the flood of generic or potentially AI-generated content out there.
Precisely. It's becoming a key differentiator for establishing trust and authority.
Okay, so we're moving away from just tracking position numbers to tracking this broader, holistic brand visibility. To guide our listeners, let's try and lay out a bit of a roadmap. We need to evolve from that traditional rank tracking to what you might call performance-driven SEO.
That's a good term for it.
What are the key strategic adjustments we need to be making right now? Maybe like 5 key shifts.
Okay, 5 shifts. The first step is really a mental one. Prioritize intent over keywords. Meaning, forget just stuffing keywords into your page. Focus entirely, laser focus, on creating content that fully and completely answers the underlying question or fulfills the need behind the searcher's query.
Can you give us a concrete example of that? Intent over keywords.
Sure. So instead of targeting a really broad, super competitive phrase like best running shoes, which might just lead to another generic listicle,
Right.
shift your focus to fulfilling a much more specific, high-intent need. Something like how to choose a running shoe for high arches after recovering from a stress fracture.
Much more specific.
Exactly. The second example fulfills a complex need. It dramatically increases your chance of maybe securing a rich snippet or showing up in People Also Ask.
Yeah.
And it immediately establishes EET. You're solving a deep need, not just matching a simple query.
Got it. Okay. Intent over keywords. What's number 2?
The second adjustment is absolutely vital today. Use multiple data sources. You simply cannot rely on one single tool or one single metric anymore. It's not enough.
So combine things.
Yes. You have to integrate Google Search Console data, which critically gives you impression data, how often you're seen with your own internal site analytics and, ideally, user behavior data. How long do people stay? Do they convert?
Break down those data silos?
Absolutely. Your SEO strategy needs to be built on integrated metrics that tell the whole story.
Okay, number 3. You mentioned reclaiming SERP real estate.
Right. Adjustment number 3 is about actively competing for that space. Leverage structured data.
Schema markup.
Precisely. This is probably the single most important technical step you can take right now. Using schema markup helps signal to Google what your content is about, making it eligible to appear in those enhanced, often screen-dominating formats.
So things like recipe cards, FAQs.
Exactly. If you sell cooking supplies, optimize for recipe schema. If you provide instructions, optimize for how-to schema. If you have product reviews, use review schema. This is your primary tactic for winning back some space from those zero-click features and standing out.
Makes sense. Fight features with features. And once we do manage to get the click, the user lands on our page. The job isn't done right.
Not at all. Which brings us to the 4th point. Optimize for engagement.
On-page experience.
Exactly. Focus intensely on user experience, UX, content clarity, and delivering value quickly to ensure the user stays on the page and finds what they need.
Because if they bounce back.
If users immediately bounce back to the search results, what we often call pogo sticking, that sends a terrible signal to Google. It basically says your content failed to satisfy the intent.
So things like fast load times, clear layout, good internal linking, they're SEO factors now more than ever.
Crucial SEO signals, yes. They tell the algorithm your content actually delivered on the promise made in the SERP.
Okay, that's 4. Intent. Multiple data sources, structured data, engagement. What's the 5th adjustment?
The 5th is a reminder, really. While we're adapting to Google's changes, we can't put all our organic eggs in one basket. So number 5 is diversify visibility.
Look beyond just Google search.
Yes. Your audience is likely interacting with information in many places. Your strategy needs to reflect that. While Google search remains dominant, you need to explore and optimize content for platforms like YouTube, which is a massive search engine in its own right.
True.
As well as thinking about Bing, maybe TikTok search, and other emerging generative AI-driven discovery tools. As the main SRE fragments and becomes more complex, you need to ensure your brand is discoverable across multiple ecosystems.
Don't be entirely dependent on one channel.
It's just smart strategy.
Yeah.
And, if we connect all this to the bigger picture, what we're seeing is that search intelligence itself is moving into a more predictive phase rather than just a positional one.
Predictive, not just reporting on the past.
Yeah. This isn't just about adapting to the shifts happening now. It's about trying to anticipate the next wave, especially with AI driving so much change in search.
So, what should we expect then from the next generation of SEO tools or search intelligence platforms? They won't just be checking a static rank anymore, surely.
No, absolutely not. We're looking at the emergence of tools that use AI themselves for analysis, predicting potential visibility shifts before they fully roll out widely.
Forecasting, almost.
Kind of. And they'll need to implement more dynamic visibility scoring, something that moves beyond just a simple position number and combines impressions, estimated clicks, and maybe your presence in different SERP features, like how often you appear in a featured snippet or an AI overview into one sort of holistic metric.
A score that reflects true SERP presence.
Exactly. And I think the most important development will be much tighter integration between content metrics, UX metrics, and actual business outcomes.
Connecting SEO directly to results.
Yes. Linking SEO success directly with things like conversion rates, average session duration, maybe even revenue attributed to organic search. The days of relying purely on vanity metrics like rank position are definitely numbered.
So the future really belongs to those who can interpret all these different signals holistically. It's about being seen, being understood, and maybe most crucially, being trusted.
Trusted by both the users and the algorithms. That's the key.
Okay, so let's bring this back home for everyone listening. Google's SERP changes, complex as they are, shouldn't necessarily be viewed as just bad news. Maybe they're a sign that SEO as a practice is maturing.
I think that's a healthy way to look at it.
The old, maybe simpler, fixed approach is dissolving, and it's giving way to a more nuanced, data-informed strategy, one that really places adaptability and genuine user experience right at the forefront.
Right. And the wisdom here, I think, is pretty simple. Stay fighting the zero-click features and start figuring out how to win within them, or how to earn that SERP real estate.
Use a change.
Yes. Use every shift Google makes as an opportunity to refine your content, deepen your understanding of your audience's true intent, and focus on creating genuinely authoritative, helpful resources. SEO isn't dying, it's just evolving. Again,
And those who evolve with it will continue to succeed.
they'll continue to win the visibility game, yes.
Okay, before we wrap up, we always like to leave you with one final thought to maybe mull over, building on that critical requirement for EAT we discussed.
Especially that E of experience.
Exactly. Ask yourself this. What specific content improvements could you realistically make, maybe even this week, to better align your resources with that requirement for genuine experience? Think about how you could prove your expertise or first-hand knowledge, not just state it. That seems to be the new benchmark for building trust online.